third choice in your voice is a Rolls Royce. It's Rhyme and Reason 813.
Here's your rhyme and reason. Oh, yeah.
Hey there, Tony here. And I want you to know right now, right up front, you always have a third choice. And that's despite what 99% of the movies and TV shows and songs and every other kind of medium pretty much would have you believe, you do have a third choice. When you're told you only have two choices, I'd like you to take a little time to think that through. And very often, the reason they say that you only have the two choices is just because that's what they've always heard. They. And that's not a pronoun for a single person. It's a plural pronoun for a lot of people. And the people who told them that heard it somewhere else, and so on and so on and so on. Two choices becomes a dark tunnel of no return. But a third choice, yeah, now that can be like a floodlight. And one early morning last week, I could hear the early birds singing outside. And the rest of the neighborhood was very quiet, very peaceful. No wind blowing around. And it was just still, but I could hear the birds. And that's the kind of peace you can have in this chaotic, confused world when you understand the value of a third choice. That old lesser of two evils way of choosing stuff, that's got to go. Because it creates a swampy whirlpool. And you don't want to get caught in that when it's flushed down to hell. And it will be flushed one day. According to some well-known and maybe well-intentioned marketers, I'm not supposed to just tell you about this. I'm supposed to storyfy it. You know, you got to see a story, hear a story, because everyone enjoys a good story, right? But not many, if any, enjoy being told what to do or not to do. So, since I certainly don't want to do that to you, check this out. There was a restaurant owner who was shot by burglars. Fortunately, paramedics got to him before he bled out, and they rushed him to the hospital. He was conscious as they wheeled him into the ER surgery unit, but he could see the looks on the doctors' faces. Yeah, he could tell they didn't think there was much hope. And before they started to operate, someone asked this man if he was allergic to anything. He said, yes, bullets. And, they laughed. Of course, why not? There's this guy all shot up, and he said he's allergic to bullets. So after they laughed, he said, look, I'm choosing to live. So operate on me as though I'm alive, not dead. And as the story goes, thanks to his attitude and their skill, he pulled through with flying colors. Now, I hope you gleaned the third choice from that, right? They thought that he was dead, and in this case, there was only the dead or alive as circumstances dictated. But here's a guy who decided to, no, I'm choosing to live. I'm not looking at this as I might live or I might die. I have a third choice. My choice is to choose to live. And I would bet, and I don't have any proof of it, because I don't know where the story originated, but I would bet that guy was a Christian because he knew choosing to live, it actually comes from the Bible, where God says He set before us, life and death, and therefore choose life. There you go. That's a good choice. It's a good choice to make that third option, whereas the world's going to give you the two. Anyway, I want you to know that life can benefit from your courage and conviction too. Refuse to accept that status quo out there. It's a narrative that is going all around. You've got to be like everybody else. You got to do this. You got to do that. Be creative. Get wisdom and get courage. And don't be fearful in this world. Be the better man or woman your Creator has in mind for you. Ask God to help you trust Him for better choices. Following Him and His advice will never lead you into dark places. In fact, following Him will make you a light in dark places. I got a question. Are you ready to shine? then refuse to assimilate and learn those lines. Don't do it. Back in 1973, I believed the whole world would be just as free as the dreams that dwelled inside me. Maybe I was naive and young. Maybe life was speaking in tongues. I would say, let the bells of freedom be rung. But time can temper the freest of souls. Life has ways of changing our goals. If we play a part, who hands out the roles? Learn those lines. Everybody learn those lines. Let that little green monster tell you what to say. Learn those lines. Everybody learn those lines. Just remember what you do comes back to you someday. Back in 1984, we thought Big Brother was right at the door, but he came in through the TV and stuff at the store. Maybe I've grown older and fat. Maybe I'm not the virginal cat who could sit on a side and be proud where he sat. Now we chase the innocuous cause, standing for and laying down laws. Yet we walk like the cat, but we don't have the claws. Learn those lines, everybody. Learn those lines. Let that little green monster tell you what to do. Learn those lines. Everybody, learn those lines. Just remember what you do is going to come back to you. We can't go back, and we can't stay here. If we can't throw away the fear and change those lines we learn, they burn. Thank you so much for tuning into this Muse-inspired version of episode of the Rhyme and Reason podcast. As always, it's brought to you by TonyFunderburk.com, maker of fine rhymes and reasons thousands and thousands of times over. And that's where you should go to get all kinds of good stuff like this. Some of it, a lot of it's free. Some of it, it helps me pay the bills if you buy stuff from me, so I won't tell you not to. Thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, remember life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme